screwed over, who's also fucking great. And then you've got Thiago Santos, the sledgehammer himself, taking on fucking Rakic. Oh, mate, there's some belter fight tonight. I can't wait, me. I can't wait. And the only god I follow is this man right here, Bruce Buffer. I'm part of the Buffer religion. The Buffer Boys is what it's called. The Buffer Boys. I'm part of the Buffer religion. There's actually two gods at the top of the Buffer religion. We believe in two gods. One is Bruce Buffer, and this is the other one here, Michael. This is Michael Buffer. They're the two gods at the top of the Buffer Boy religion. Legends of the game. Legends of life. And this is who Satin is. This man right here, Mario Yamasaki. That's Satin. That right there is evil embodied. And that is, sorry, as a Buffer boy, it's really hard to sort of, as a member of the religion, it's hard to fucking look at him and even say his name without getting a bit, without feeling, without feeling me blood boil. But this is where you go to Mario Yamasaki's hell. If you do wrong in life, you commit bad deeds. But the Buffer Boy religion is one of peace, is one of early stoppages, is one of safe stoppages. Mario Yamasaki, we discussed it last night, he likes a late stoppage more than the rest of us. And that is why, I mean, even Dana White doesn't like Mario Yamasaki, and for once I agree with him. Don't really rate Dana White as a person, but I agree with him for once on Mario Yamasaki. I mean, we will just look at some of his worst refereeing moments right now, just to give you a feel. Just to give you a feel.
After Steve Mazzagati's retirement, Brazilian referee Mario Yamasaki became the latest figure of scorn for MMA fans. Once an influential figure in Brazilian MMA,
He's out, Mario! Stop the fight!
Yamasaki's hesitancy and questionable decision-making soon left his reputation intact.
That was an early stoppage, Mario!
Today we take a closer look at the man who's been at the heart of some of MMA's worst moments. Welcome to the INC, and these are 5 of the worst...
That right there is hell to find in an image.
Mario Yamasaki moments. At Fight Night Belém in 2018, Yamasaki was the center of one of the most infamous fights in UFC history. On paper, Valentina Shevchenko's fight with Priscila Cachoeira was a mismatch. Although Cachoeira entered the fight unbeaten, her wins had come against low-level opponents on the Brazilian regional scene, while Shevchenko was a former title challenger and considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. It was clear Cachoeira offered no threat to Shevchenko, getting dominated in the stand-up and showing little defense when the fight went to the ground. Despite this, Yamasaki allowed the fight to go on. And on.
Stop the fight, Mario!
And on.
Mario! Stop the fight!
Cachoeira.
That's me sat at home. That's me at home.
Cachoeira suffered over 200 unanswered strikes before submitting to Shevchenko.
That is ridiculous, and that is why staunch boxing fans hate MMA, because of referees like Mario Yamasaki who lets people take unnecessary punishment when they don't need it. Mario Yamasaki, he just sits back and he just watches people lose years off their lives. Just sat there counting the clock. Go on. You're gonna die. He just lets the years tally with every punch.
Go in the
so much extra brain damage is being caused by Mario Yamasaki's incompetency, honestly. Sat here playing Lego Harry Potter with me bird and absolutely shit myself thinking Rakic fight was cancelled. Nah, don't say that, lad. Oh, because I couldn't get it up. Yeah, you'd be more scared of Yamasaki being in the cage with you than your opponent, honestly, lad. If I heard Yamasaki was reffing, I think I'd find a reason not to fight. Honestly, I think I'd find a reason not to fight. If Yamasaki was reffing my scrap, I'd find a reason. Yo, Satin and Jack, lad. Good to see you about, lad. Good to see you back.
The second round, with Yamasaki...
We're just having a look at this is the worst referee in MMA history, most likely. And we're just having a look at some of his worst moments.
Coming under fire by claiming his refusal to stop the fight was to allow Cachoeira the chance to be a warrior. It's safe...
Wow! He said he didn't stop the fight and allowed Cachoeira to absorb so much extra brain damage, right? Because he wanted to give her the chance of being a warrior. And that right there is psychopathic behaviour. That. Because when she gets dementia, right, at 78, maybe even earlier, in her early 70s, she won't be thinking, oh, I'm happy Yamasaki let me go out a warrior when I was 30. Oh, I'm so happy Yamasaki let me fulfill me honour in the octagon. No, she'll be sat there, not thinking nothing, because she will be forgetting everything because her brain will be fucked. And that's why the man got... Because the UFC can't actually fire referees. It's a completely different commission. They're not allowed. And so this is why the boss Dana White was furious and...
To say UFC President Dana White was far from impressed.
For that idiot to say that he gave her the opportunity to be a warrior? No, you moron. You're in there to protect her from herself. He makes me sick.
Cachoeira...
As I said, I don't commonly agree with Dana White, but what he said there, I was so passionate myself, like thinking about it, like if my fighter, someone who I was coaching, was taking unnecessary abuse because of this cunt, this stupid prick in the octagon. I'm getting passionate, I'm sorry, I'm using fucking horrible words, but was letting people... I'd be furious too. I feel so sorry for him, man. Honestly, it's brutal. I mean, look at the state of her.
Knee during the fight, suffering severe ACL and meniscus tears. As a result, Yamasaki was blacklisted by the UFC and hasn't refereed since.
Okay, they can't fire them, but they can blacklist them. Fair dues. I did not know that. That's something I've learned.
After being sidelined for a year due to her injuries, Cachoeira returned to action in 2019, losing her next two fights before finally breaking her UFC duck against Shayna Dobson in Auckland.
Yous are seeing this, aren't yous? Yeah, okay, sweet.
Now let's go from a fight Yamasaki stopped too late to one which he stopped far too early.
See, and this is the thing about Yamasaki. It wasn't just his late stoppages. He was so inconsistent. With his stoppages. He'd stop fights when fighters were just clearly still there, and he'd ruin events for fans who pay sometimes thousands for tickets because of a limited availability. Honestly, he's the worst thing that happened to the sport, and I'm so happy they blacklisted him when they did. Honestly, imagine he was reffing tonight. Imagine, MMA fans, imagine he was reffing tonight. Imagine, you'd be shitting yourself thinking, is one of these bot really, on a card like this too, on a card like this as well, is he going to stop one of my favourite fights early? Is he going to fuck up one of my favourite fights? And I'm starting to, hurt me to say, get that now a little bit with Herb Dean. His inconsistencies recently have been ridiculous.
2017, Kevin Lee took on Michael Chiesa in the
but obviously not as bad.
Fight Night Oklahoma. The fight was seen as a breakout moment for Lee, whose 4-fight winning streak saw him receiving hype as a potential champion. Lee was looking to settle a score with Chiesa after the two came to blows during the pre-fight press conference.
Remember that? Oh my god.
Grappling match played out.
Don't talk about my mom, dog! Don't you talk about my mom, dog!
Expected, with Chiesa threatening submission attempts from the bottom before Lee managed to take Chiesa's back and hold position for the majority of the round. Late in the first, Lee locked Chiesa in a rear naked choke, but despite the Maverick showing little sign of distress, Yamasaki had seen enough.
Oh no. Oh no. See, does he even know where he is? Does he even know where he is? Does he even know where he is? Look at the ref. Oh. Oh yeah, he's away. Look, he can't.
There was no tap. It looked like Mario Yamasaki thought that maybe Chiesa went out. There was no tap.
An incensed Chiesa immediately looked to get the fight result overturned, and had some choice words for Yamasaki when he was questioned about the official following the fight.
That's JV bullshit. I mean, that guy's too focused on being some kind of playboy in front of the cameras, making his little heart logos. Maybe he should go back and read the fucking rule book. And I'm not trying to sound like a porn sport, but it's really hard to be positive right now. And I've been striving for this main event spot, and I get it, and I just feel like I just got fucking robbed.
I feel him. I feel his fucking. I feel his frustration. Let me catch up with chat. Worries about here about me, same lad. Fucking hate Kevin Lee. After that Oliveira episode, I just hate him. What happened? Remind me. Like, swear, Valheim me and play something else with your game. Load duos on Warzone. At the minute, lad, I'm not really that game for Warzone. Let me get a little bit of Valheim played in a sec, and I'll see how I feel in a bit, lad.
After the
I'll see how I
Oklahoma
feel in a
State
bit.
Athletic Commission upheld the result, Chiesa bounced back with wins in 3 of his past 4 fights. A victory over Rafael.
It's also ridiculous the Athletic Commission upheld the result because they were scared to undermine one of the referees. I feel that's what it was. They were scared to undermine one of the veteran referees in the sport, and so they let the result stand. That shit's bullshit. That's bullshit.
El Dos Anjos
Bullshit.
earlier this year has placed him in the conversation for a potential
Big
welterweight
win.
title
That
shot.
for Chiesa.
Yamasaki's bloodlust.
Just looking at him pisses me
A
off.
fighter to win a match twice. At UFC 70, Victor Valimaki made his company return against Italian veteran Alessio Sakara. The fight's pivotal moment came 2 minutes into the first, when Sakara rocked Valimaki with a short right, forcing his opponent to turn his back and Yamasaki to seemingly wave off the fight. At least that's what we thought.
Let's see. No, you know there's a quick timeout call. Timeout? Well, that's bizarre. That was the end of the fight.
In reality, Yamasaki had called a timeout due to Valimaki losing his mouthpiece, leaving both
Fuck off!
fighters as well as MMA media scratching their heads. The fight was quickly restarted, where dazed Valimaki offered little resistance before being officially stopped 10 seconds later. Yamasaki's
That was his excuse. That was his excuse for stopping the fight, right? In its ending motions, in its final moments. That was his excuse for giving a timeout. Oh, the shittest referee. The shittest referee. Let me catch up with chat. He tapped to Oliveira and then started grabbing him, saying he didn't tap. Oh yeah, I saw that. But lad, to be fair, when you're in that, when all the oxygen and all the blood's like not in your brain, you're gonna do mad shit. So I forgive him for that. I heard Valheim has some FPS issues around buildings. It does a little bit. I'm struggling. Valheim server sorry, ref so bad. Yeah, he is. But yeah, Jack, I've been having FPS issues. I think they'll probably most likely fix it in the upcoming updates, because at the minute, lad, it's in early release. I think it's in early alpha. I think.
indecisiveness was further displayed when Cody
Sorry,
Garbrandt
let me catch the
where
beginning of
Dave
this clip.
Valimaki offered little resistance before being officially stopped 10 seconds later. Yamasaki's indecisiveness was further displayed when Cody Garbrandt took on Augusto Mendez at Fight Night
I
Pittsburgh.
don't remember this.
Yamasaki appeared to stop the fight after Garbrandt dropped Mendez late in the first, only to have a change of heart and allow the Brazilian to take further shots before finally waving the match off. In 2020,
I mean, that was probably his most minor mistake. That was probably his most minor
Garbrandt
mistake.
dropped
The fight should have been
Mendes
stopped
late in the
there.
first.
Fella's knocked out. Like, he doesn't know where he is. Look at the way he drops to the
Yamasaki
floor. You
appeared to
ready?
stop the fight after Garbrandt dropped Mendes late in
Like, his arms are stiff up as he's fell. His arms stiff. He's been TKO'd there. And then his body comes to as he hits the
the
canvas.
first. Only
He doesn't need to take more punishment. He's out of it. He's not even protecting his face. He's like this. He's out of it. Then Yamasaki waves it off, but then said, no, actually, it's still
to
on.
have a change of heart.
Just
and
to let
allow
him
Brazil
take another
further
2
shots
amethysts
before
to the head.
finally waving the match off. In 2012,
Dickhead.
Eric Silva was one of MMA's biggest prospects. Silva entered the UFC with a 12-1 record, competing for the
I
Jungle
agree,
Fight
Luke.
promotion
Shite
in
ref.
Brazil.
Shite,
And
one of the
immediately
worst.
caught the eye of fans and
He's out.
matchmakers with a 40-second
He's out.
knockout
You're letting him
of
take-
Luis Ramos
See, even Herb's letting people take unnecessary punishment there.
in his octagon debut.
He's been doing it for a while, Herb.
Hopes were
Just not being spoke
high
about.
Silva could repeat that stellar performance when he took on Carlo Prater at UFC 142. And early in the first round, the Brazilian crowd seemingly got their wish.
Oh my, is he quick? Look at this. It's gonna be it. It's all over. It is all over. Just like that.
A second straight finish within a minute catapulted Eric Silva into the limelight and a potential
Yes,
welterweight
lad.
champion.
Herb
At
is
least
shite
that's
at
what should have
times.
happened until Yamasaki intervened.
According to Mario Yamasaki has said that it is going to be ruled a no contest, or he's going to be disqualified because of illegal blows to the back of the head.
Yamasaki
Whoa!
Eric Silva
I'm
into the
gone.
And early in the first round, the Brazilian crowd seemingly got their
Side of the head. Side of the head, side of the head, side of the head.
It's gonna be it. It's all over.
Oh, Yamasaki, retire, lad. Never come back. I saw an article recently saying that he wants to make his comeback. Don't come back. Don't come back. Don't come
second
back.
straight finish.
Please don't. You'll ruin it. You'll ruin the sport for everyone. Don't you fucking dare come back.
Decision of Brazilian.
Oh yeah,
crowd.
they go through it. They go through it in slow mo.
And they-
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
they,
Hang on. They go through it in
Joe
slow mo.
Rogan
Let's have a look.
questioned the official over
Let's
his
have a look.
decision.
he goes down. And
Misses.
there's one to the side.
Shoulder.
That's legal.
Back. Top back. Not firm back.
That's
Arm.
legal. Is this a
Side of the head.
judgment?
Side of the head.
Are you happy with this call? Are you right now? How you
I'm happy. I'm happy they interviewed him. I want to see what he says. It's gonna frustrate me, no doubt.
feeling about this?
You know, I have to decide here right now.
I understand you have to decide in the moment, but right now, how do you feel about it? Looking at that replay.
Fans and critics were split on Rogan's confrontation, with some feeling it was an appropriate line of questioning, and others believing the commentator was unprofessional to call out Yamasaki's mistake.
Where do I sit on that? Where do I sit on that? It's heavy putting him on blast. Yeah, let me shite ref so bad. Herb shite as well at times. Joe Rogan with a barn hit. What? Fuck that. There needs to be questions in every sport. Put the refs on blast. Yeah, he's put the ref on blast there in front of a crowd who are obviously angry. But they need to be held accountable. We're seeing it in football now. They need to be held accountable for the mistakes, especially in sport like MMA, where it's literally a matter of health. It's a matter of health. These decisions, it needs to be dealt with there, and they need to put the refs on blast. The more the refs are made to answer for the dodgy decisions, the more hopefully training they do, the more research they do, and just the more effort they put into being better referees, I suppose. I'm happy you put them on blast. I'm happy to put them on blast. You are only human, you do make mistakes, but let's have a look. Let me just catch up with chat. Luke agrees, so does Jackal. Not the way he did it. You don't agree with the way Joe Rogan did it? Jack, you don't agree with the way Joe Rogan put him on blast? Mac, haha, we'll finally get Adesanya versus Jones, and Yamasaki will stop it because Jones breathed wrong. Mate, it wouldn't surprise me. But ask it nicely, and don't be harsh if the refs accept they made a mistake, because they are humans too. But it would be nice to get their full process behind the decisions. I agree. I agree, and as I said, in a sport like MMA, I feel like it's even more crucial. It's even more important. We'll just carry on with the rest of this, and then we'll
Prater
jump
would
on a
fight
game.
twice more in the UFC before being released by the promotion later that year. And although Silva enjoyed flashes of success,
He's out.
he
Stop
never
the fight.
reached the superstar level hoisted on him before the Prater fight. One of Yamasaki's worst moments accidentally created one of the sport's best. At UFC 52, Matt Hughes defended his welterweight title against longtime rival Frank Trigg. Months of bickering and trash-talking led into the highly anticipated fight, with Trigg looking for revenge after being submitted by Hughes 18 months earlier. The most meaningful strike came early in the first, when Trigg landed a clear groin strike that was obvious to everyone at the Mandalay Bay. Except Yamasaki, of course. Meaningful strike for revenge after being submitted by Trigg landed.
Let's have a look at this again.
The most meaningful
Oh, that hurts to watch.
strike came early in the first, when Trigg landed a clear groin strike that was.
You can see he's looking at the referees for his stoppage. But when it's Yamasaki, you can't do that. You can't turn away from your opponent. When it's Yamasaki especially, you can't do
Obvious
that.
to everyone at the Mandalay Bay. Except Yamasaki, of course.
He got hit in the groin. Looked to referee Mario Yamasaki. Mario Yamasaki didn't stop it. Frank Trigg took advantage of it.
Trigg used the referee's mishap to dominate the next few minutes, before locking in a rear naked choke, seemingly to claim vengeance on his rival. Hughes, however, survived the hold. With his opponent gassed from attempting to finish the fight, he mounted a dramatic comeback to retain his title late in the round. Trigg would
Heavy.
become an MMA official himself after retiring from the sport in 2011, and would ironically be one of Yamasaki's biggest defenders in the aftermath of Shevchenko Cachoeira. UFC president
Says it all, doesn't it? Really. Says it all. I don't even need to comment.
Dana
I don't
White
even need to
has
comment on
described
that.
Hughes
Says
Trigg
it
2 as his
all.
all-time favorite match. A rare example where a man's incompetence ultimately proved beneficial. Hey, maybe he should pursue a career in politics. And now, time for a few honorable mentions. Yamasaki
Yeah.
was so distracted by Derek Lewis's Instagram, he forgot to see him finishing Travis Brown at Fight Night Halifax.
Watching this is fucking it angers me. Angers me so much.
And now, time for a few honorable
Watching
mentions.
this angers me so
Yamasaki
much.
was so distracted by Derek Lewis's Instagram,
He's
he
out.
forgot to
Like,
see him finishing Travis Brown
yeah,
at
there he's out. Stop the fight. Just stop it. Just stop the fight. You literally stood over it. You've got a better view than any one of us on the planet. The man's out.
Fight Night Halifax. Letting
Can we count them? Can we count them? Can we count
time
them
for a
there?
few he
Yeah.
forgot to-
Yeah, let's count them.
Yamasaki was so distracted by
Right.
Derek Lewis's Instagram,
Out. Out there. He's out there. His guard comes down. He's out. He's finished. Stop the fight. Jump in. Stop the fight. Okay, we're going to count from here.
he forgot
One,
to see him
2,
finishing
three,
Travis Brown at Fight
4,
Night Halifax.
5, 6, 7. 7 punches, and we didn't even get to see the stop of the fight. 7 punches he let him take after he was out. And when you add those up at the heavyweight level, when fighters like Ngannou can throw a punch, and it's the equivalent of it getting hit by a sledgehammer at 80 miles per hour in the head, right? You've got to ask yourself, how much damage is that doing? 7 extra punches, do you know what I mean? 7 extra punches after the man's out.
Shogun Hua be a war him finishing Travis Brown at Fight Night Halifax. Letting Shogun Hua be a warrior in his 2014 loss to Ovid St. Preux. Yamasaki's incompetence even made it into the UFC game.
That's hilarious.
The INC.
That was a great video. That was a great video. That was a really good